Car designers. They put a lot of effort into designing cars, obviously, but sometimes things go horribly wrong. Beautiful front ends? Scrap that. A rear that looks good? Nope, let's inflate it. Add in some weird out-of-place quirks, and that's how you get cars like the Fiat Multipla, Chevy SSR, Pontiac Aztek, or the, oh god, Cybertruck. Every car brand has at least one car, well, that's less than great. In this video, I'm rating 24 of them on a scale of 1 to 10. Some I'd actually consider owning for their quirks and uniqueness, some I wouldn't touch, and few I'd happily see get set on fire. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. Before I start this video, make sure to subscribe to Durant. I make weekly videos about the automotive world, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to support and show love to the growing channel. Your support means so much to me, and this channel wouldn't be possible without you guys. Anyways, let's get back into the video. Number 1. Tesla. Tesla's cars are obviously terrible looking, and the Cybertruck is the worst of them all. Panel gaps, cheap materials, and looks that make you question why anyone would want to drop $100,000 on this thing. Overall, the Cybertruck is all hype and only made just to attract influencers and show-offs. Luckily, the Cybertruck is flopping, and for good reason. Maybe now car brands will realize you don't need weird, gimmicky, overhyped cars to be successful. Final rating, 0 out of 10. Number 2. Mitsubishi. In 2009, Mitsubishi made the i-MiEV, easily the worst EV ever created. EVs were a new concept back then, and Mitsubishi jumped in for no reason. The result? A car that flopped and was hated everywhere. It looks like an egg on wheels, and the interior is garbage. It basically started Mitsubishi's downfall. Going from iconic cars like the Evo to this mess ruined the brand's trust with real fans. 0 out of 10. Number 3. Nissan. I've actually got 3 for Nissan. First up is the Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. Nissan took a perfectly fine SUV and turned it into this. To be fair, even though it's ugly, I'd still consider owning one just for the quirks and that convertible roof. But of course, the reliability was terrible compared to the normal Murano, and now these things are just randomly expensive. 2 out of 10. Next, the Nissan Juke. Honestly, this one isn't that bad, and I really don't get the hate. It's just a weird looking SUV, and I wouldn't mind daily driving it. It looks unique compared to other SUVs, especially the Nismo variant. That's just really cool. 7 out of 10. Last from Nissan is the S-Cargo, a K minivan only sold in Japan. In America, I'd never own this for safety reasons, but if we lived in a small town in Japan and needed to haul some small gear, yeah, it definitely stands out and has its charm. Plus, it's probably really practical. 7 out of 10. Number 4, Scion. The ugliest car from Scion is the Scion XB, and honestly, I'd say it's the best car on this list. These things are cheap, easy to mod, and great for a first car. It looks quirky, and it's actually practical. Before it got discontinued, the newer models started getting less and less boxy, and they all lost their original charm. But if you could find an older one for sale, it's perfect, and you've got your Toyota reliability all on top of it. 10 out of 10. Number 5. BMW. Obviously, the ugliest BMW is the iX. Seriously, who thought this was okay? It's a disgrace to the BMW brand. Severely overpriced, packed with dumb gimmicks, overloaded tech, and awful reliability. When I first saw it, I thought it was a stupid concept car brands make every once in a while. And then, I saw one actually driving on the road. People actually spend their hard-earned money on this. Wow. 0 out of 10. Number 6. Chrysler. The PT Cruiser is apparently one of the worst cars ever made, but honestly, I don't get the hate. Yeah, it's a Chrysler, but it's just a normal hatchback. People act like it's the ugliest thing ever for some reason. 5 out of 10. Number 7. Ferrari. A lot of people say the ugliest Ferrari is the 612 Scalgetti, and I kinda get it. The back is weird, the shape is off, but it's not that bad. Plus, it's one of the cheapest Ferraris you could buy. Now the real ugliest Ferrari? That SUV I won't even try to pronounce. Scalgetti, 5 out of 10. That SUV, 1 out of 10. Number 8. Mercedes. The first gen A-Class is definitely the ugliest Mercedes, no doubt. But here's the thing. It's actually kind of cool. Back then, Mercedes was known for being simple, and the A-Class is reliable, space-efficient, and way less complicated than today's tech-loaded SUVs. It may look strange, but it makes sense. 6 out of 10. Number 9. Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo SZ is the ugliest Alfa Romeo ever made, and honestly, it's one of the ugliest sports cars of the 90s. The proportions are weird, the rear end looks awful, and every inch of the car just feels off. But for some reason, I'd still love to own one. It actually looks pretty interesting. 5 out of 10. Number 10. Honda. First up, the Cross Tour. It's like if a Honda Accord tried to be a crossover. It looks terrible, but at least it's reliable and decently priced. 7 out of 10. Next is the CRZ, a little hybrid coupe that gets way too much hate. It's easy to mod and a solid first car. 7 out of 10. Then there's the Honda E, a compact EV. I hate electric cars, if it wasn't obvious already, but the Honda E is actually what an EV should be. Efficient, simple, and good looking. 7 out of 10. Number 11. Lamborghini. First is the Jarama. It's got some really weird proportions and it doesn't really feel like a Lamborghini, but I like the retro vibe even if it's all over the place. 5 out of 10. And then the Urus, which doesn't look that bad on its own, but compared to other Lamborghinis, yeah, it's a letdown. 3 out of 10. Number 12. Porsche. Porsche's never really made an ugly car, except for the first-gen Panamera. The proportions are off, it looks awkward for a sedan, and the rear end is just bad. But honestly, that's it. People complain about it, but Porsche fixed the Panamera later anyway, so I don't really see the issue. 8 out of 10. Number 13. Jaguar. I'm not counting that weird Jaguar concept because it doesn't and won't ever exist, but the I-Pace, that thing is ugly. For the price, reliability, and performance you're getting, it's just a disaster. 0 out of 10. Rest in peace, Jaguar. Number 14. Audi. The Audi A2 is probably the ugliest Audi ever made. It looks bloated and weird, but somehow it's popular in Europe, and honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. The design actually makes sense. 6 out of 10. Number 15. The Aston Martin Signet. The Aston Martin Signet was a microcar built for one purpose: emissions regulations. It doesn't look too bad, and honestly, driving a microcar with an Aston Martin badge has to be one of the best feelings ever. It's overpriced and impractical, sure, but it's still a 5 out of 10. Number 16. Kia. Kia made the EV6 in 2021, and it's an EV that makes no sense. The back is horrible, and for the price, you're not getting any value. 1 out of 10. Number 17. Hyundai. Obviously, the ugliest Hyundai is the Ioniq 6, and just let the side profile speak for itself. Just imagine paying 40 grand for this. 0 out of 10. Number 18. Ford. The Ford Ka is the ugliest Ford according to a lot of people, but honestly, I think it's great for the price. It's efficient, reliable, and quirky, and it also handles pretty well. 8 out of 10. Number 19. Fiat. This one inspired me to make this video. The Fiat Multipla. Before the Cybertruck and the BMW iX, this was considered the world's ugliest car, the worst of the worst, but honestly, I think it's really cool. It's space efficient and super quirky. Yeah, the interior sucks, the shape is weird, but it stands out in a good way. The newer models lost the charm of the original, but now it's kind of a relic. Super underrated, and I definitely want to own one. 6 out of 10. Number 20. Volvo. The Volvo 480 looks really weird, but it's a Volvo, so everything gets forgiven. 10 out of 10. Number 21. Pontiac. The Pontiac Aztek is probably the most well-known Pontiac, and it's strange. The center console cooler and the built-in tent are actually cool ideas, but the car flopped. On paper, it sounded like it should have worked, but the weird shape, tiny wheels, weak engine, and bad reliability killed it off fast. It even helped bringing Pontiac down as a brand. 3 out of 10. Number 22. Suzuki. Suzuki's been quiet in the US for a long time, but the X-90 is one of their most well-known cars. It's like they couldn't decide between a compact SUV and a coupe, so they just mashed both together. The result? A weird little two-door SUV with a targa top that nobody asked for. It flopped hard, but honestly, I think it's kind of fun. Not practical at all, but unique. It's also somehow a really good off-roader. 6 out of 10. Number 23. Dodge. The new EV Charger gets a straight up 0 out of 10. Dodge abandoned everything that SRT stood for. The muscle car identity, gone. The mean Hemi V8 growl replaced with a fake exhaust speaker. Speaking of SRT, I actually ranked every Dodge SRT ever made, and if you haven't seen that video, a card will pop up right here. Number 24. Toyota. The first gen Toyota Mirai was Toyota's attempt at a hydrogen car. The design? Yep, not it. It looks like a melted Prius with awkward proportions. I just don't understand. Just because it's an EV or the high-tech car that runs on new fuel, it just has to look ugly. Luckily, the whole hydrogen car experiment failed. 1 out of 10. Well, that's my full list. If you guys want, I could definitely make a part 2 with some of the more obscure brands I missed. So besides the EV Charger, EV6, Ioniq 5, i-MiEV, Jaguar I-Pace, BMW iX, Cybertruck, Mirai, and those Ferrari and Lamborghini SUVs, what do these cars all have in common? They're unique. Sure, they might look terrible compared to other cars, but they stand out and they offer a different kind of driving experience. Cars aren't about who drives the best looking thing. It's about driving something that's different, and honestly, out of all the cars you'll ever drive in your life, the ugly ones, they'll probably be the most memorable. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and remember people, drive safe, drive smart, but most importantly, drive something worth talking about. See you in the next one.